I want to talk about today about exhibiting your work and how you go about that process, and how over the years have I've gone about the process, and the difference between having an agent, not having an agent, doing it yourself, and making yourself available to the public or not available to the public, whatever's, how it works for you and how you feel about it. It's really important how you feel about it, because if you're not comfortable with public comments about your work, then don't put it out in the public, because somebody will critique it. Somebody will make a comment about it that you may not like. It's very important to come to terms with that if you're going to be, quote, a professional artist. Professional artist meaning that you're asking people to buy your work and help support your existence. An amateur artist is just as it appears to be an amateur. It doesn't mean that the work is less than the professionals. It just means that you're not asking the world to like it or not like it, or to buy it or not buy it. Let's take a look at what really it is about in the end, is really making sure that you're not taken advantage of, and that you're comfortable with whatever situations you have. You have to be comfortable with the gallery you're in. If not, get out. And if you're not going to be comfortable with the gallery or the gallery owner, or there's something wrong with it, then for sure you can't stay with that. I've had many galleries over the years and have left them many times over differences or misunderstandings, or they just didn't say what they were going to do. Going to do is getting yourself out there. We look at our artwork, as most of us as practicing artists that work every day at it, we find ourselves more insulated and isolated from the public, because it's something that we do with ourselves, and it's not something that we're inviting the world in to see. Many times, having been a teacher for many years at different levels, I find myself willing to do demonstrations or something in a gallery setting to help the sales of the gallery. It doesn't mean that the gallery is any less of a gallery for doing that. It just gives you something that you can share with the public. I'm also very comfortable doing podcasts or doing my website with, and that's what we're looking at nowadays. Is so much of it is the website and the podcasts and all that. We coming to terms with the changes in the art world is coming to terms with changes that we have to be aware that perhaps it's a whole different scene than it was a few years ago. My gallery in New York closed when COVID wiped out a lot of Midtown Manhattan's commercial settings, and they had enormous rents. That, which is what you have to ask the dealer, how much rent do you pay? If the dealer's paying $30,000 a month, like it could be in Carmel, or $80,000 like it could be in Midtown Manhattan, you can't ask them to give them paintings they can't sell. On the other hand, if it's like the Carmel Art Association, where my show comes up in May, and May 4th, and the show will be opening at that time. The party will be in mid-May, but we're looking at that as something that I've done many times. I've done over 72 shows, in one-person shows in my lifetime. I'm 79, and I've been doing those shows since I was in my early 20s. When I take on doing a show, it's taking on the responsibility of not only getting all the work, but filling the room that it's in. If you have a half-hung show, it looks half-hung, people are going to think you're halfway there. When are you going to finish this thing? When are you going to finish it? And you may have people come up to you and say, I like that one, only I'd rather have it with more oranges. I like that one, but I need it in purple because I have a purple couch. This kind of stuff for a serious artist is not something that you want to deal with, but you have to be able to say to the people, it's not how I work. My work is very personal. It reflects me. It reflects where I'm at the time. And I can't make colors just for decoration. Now, if I was a decorator, I would just say, give me 5 more with lots of purple in it. And if I was a decorative painter, I would make 5 paintings with lots of purple in it. But that's not what I'm talking about here. In this one, we're talking about doing serious artwork and work that reflects the artist. Now, you may be part of a movement. Movements don't operate the way they used to. They used to come and be gone over a longer period. But nowadays, everything is a flash, and that's because everything is digital. And one of the things that you have to remember is that you are talking, you're talking and having a conversation with the public, and the public is invited to come in the gallery after the opening, after they gotten their invitation. It would be that kind of way of looking at things that says, come on in, see my work, and I hope you buy it. It doesn't mean that I'm going to paint one for you the way you want it for your couch. It means that I hope that you like what I'm saying and saying the same things to me that I can say to you. That is, that there's a conversation going between myself and the viewer. The important part of my paintings is the conversation, and my colors will reflect the mood. I don't find myself wanting to have a formula around my colors, but I also want a consistency that says when you're looking at it that it's my colors. And in this show coming up, it's my Sail with the Max series. I'm making a lot of colors up out of already existing colors that I've used before, but making slight changes in them. So many times the viewer has to stand there and look longer to see more changes. I'm asking the viewer to look longer at the painting, not to say, oh, I saw that, now what's next? That's a situation you don't want to have happen with your work. In 1971, I had a dealer in New York that when we were opening the Soho, and there was a couple of us from here that were going to be showing in the Soho, and Soho was the up-and-coming place in New York where a lot of the old garment factories were, and big spaces, big lofts and things, and the galleries were going in. And some of the galleries were big name galleries, and some of the galleries were just starting up galleries. The guy I had for a dealer wanted, he made a sale, he took 70%. And I said, how did you take 70%? I said, I don't ever go over 40, at that time, 40%. 60-40, 60 for the artist, 40 for the gallery. And he says, did you read your contract? And like probably most artists in their younger years, you didn't read the contract close enough, because the contract said if he put an ad in the New York Times, he gets 70% from the sale. And it was there, and I didn't see it. But read the contracts, be careful, and make sure you have a signed contract with the dealer. Don't just say, I'm leaving you this stuff and good luck and may we have a good time. No, that's not. It's a business. He's in business, you're in business. You're in business, you have a contract. He's in business, he needs that contract, and he needs to have the contract for his business or her business. I had the same dealer said after he sold that one piece, he said, giving me 17 more in different colors, I can sell that image, and I got 17 buyers that'll take it. And I said, no, I don't work that way. I'd be making the same painting today that I made then, only in different colors. And that would be, 40, 50 years ago. I'd be doing the same thing? No, I don't want to. That's not who I am. If that's who you are, do it. But to be true to yourself is really what it is. And I have to always be true to myself. I've always had other jobs outside because I don't want to be at the mercy of the gallery. I don't want the gallery telling me what to do. Give me 17 more just like it. I have 17 buyers. All I need is different colors, but that image, but just give me that image. I'd be still making that image, and the image would be deteriorating more and more as I did it. The work doesn't get better by repeating it many times. It gives you, there's a notice of, people will notice, and eventually you'll be famous for that, or if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, you just got stuck with that image. We're working on a lot of things today that the artist has to do themselves that the gallery used to do. Many things in the gallery business where you used to, sometimes you'd have to pay to have a show up on Madison Avenue, up a staircase or something where there'd be over a bunch of fancy stores. And those galleries are not a place where you get the serious collectors. But the shows that I've done in New York, some have worked out, some haven't. My show that dealt with the my Watergate series when I was doing a lot of political commentary, that got very great shows in Park East magazine and things like that, where you want that whole kind of attention to a particular geographic area, the East Side, for example. That's what Park East is for. We have a lot of local places to put your ads and things for your show coming up or whatever, and but I'm looking at doing posters again, because posters seem to be something that people like to collect, and if they can collect the posters, they'll collect. Maybe they'll collect the paintings. When we're looking at in the local art galleries in a small town like Carmel and Monterey, Pacific Grove, you're really looking at you could get a notoriety over the years for doing a lot of shows, as I have, but you also have to have something that people are reminded that it's you. Again, being true to yourself. Don't try to make things that you don't like, and then you have to live with the fact that somebody owns it and has it in their house and you never liked it anyway. In the end, as I said before, it's being true to yourself and read the contract.